Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to Avorion with LD7, and today we are going to be opening up the gateway and crossing over the barrier. So we went ahead and gathered all 8 of the Zosian artifacts. We got the last one in last episode. So today we are finally prepared to open up the gateway and get across the barrier. So a couple things here. First things first, you want to make sure you have all 8 Zotan artifacts. Second, you are going to need 8 ships, each with 1 artifact installed. That way you can place them throughout the sector. And then final step, once it opens, you have to do a little battle against some Zotan ships, and then you'll be able to go through a wormhole, which will put you over the barrier. Once you get over the barrier, first thing you want to do is get just a little bit of Avorion. That way you can jump over the rifts in space. Then you won't have to use this gateway anymore, and you can destroy all the ships that have the artifacts inside of them, so you can use them for other purposes, whatever. But let's first off take a look and see kind of how to go about finding the gateway. So for me, I got pretty lucky. This was like the 3rd sector that I checked for it. Basically what you are looking for is hidden mass sectors right on the edge touching the barrier. So if we zoom out here, this little arc is the barrier, right? So any yellow dots that are touching could potentially have the gateway inside of it. We already found it, so whatever, but basically what you would do is jump between any sectors touching the barrier. So I went to this one, and then this one, so it only took me 3 jumps to find it. Once you have all the artifacts, I don't know if it increases the likelihood or not, but you should be able to find it at any point in time. Normally, or well, actually, I don't know if normally it's on the side that's closest to where you started, because we started out here. So I mean, this is kind of the closest point, realistically speaking, based off of where we started. I don't know if that's always the case or if there's multiple gateway locations or not, but bottom line, when you're trying to find it, just look for hidden mass sectors right next to the barrier. Hopefully you get lucky on your RNG and it won't take you too many jumps to find it. Next, you're going to want to build either 7 or 8 ships. It depends on if you're going to have an artifact inside of your main ship. I am. So I'm going to use our main ship for Zosian Artifact 3, the one that gives us the turrets. It also has a Zosian 8, but I got a duplicate of that to put over there. So the second piece of this, you have to get the ships in position. I believe they have to be within 3 kilometers of the asteroid in order for it to count. But basically the way this works, if we look at these asteroids, they all are numbered. So 1 through 8, right? Just like the artifacts. So what you need is a ship for each asteroid that has the same number artifact inside of it. So I've got this little ship here, Zosian Artifact 1, and it's by asteroid number 1. You can tell when you've done it right because it'll have this little red light on it. So that'll mean you have the right artifact close enough to the asteroid. Once you move the last ship into position, it will open up the gateway and you'll start the battle. What I would suggest, I went ahead and upgraded our ship before coming in here to try to do this. So we have 4.5 million shields and almost 2 million hull. So that should be enough to deal with all these Zotan ships. I mean, normally they aren't too difficult. It's just you want to have some sustain because it would suck to lose the fight when you open up the barrier, right? So with that being said, the ships that actually hold the artifacts don't have to be anything special. I think these cost less than 50,000 credits each and like maybe 20,000 Neonite, something like that. So super cheap, just put them all out there and get them in position. And then when you're ready to start, just move the last artifact into position next to the final asteroid, which is going to be right here. And you'll get these beams. It'll open up a wormhole, super cool. And inside of the wormhole, some Zotans are going to show up. So we're going to take these assholes out because I don't really want them destroying my other artifact ships, if I can help it. It doesn't necessarily matter, but... And actually, you don't even have to fight them. You can just go through the wormhole like that. But whatever. I'm actually going to go back through just because those artifact ships are going to get destroyed, and I don't really want to lose my Zotan artifacts. Just because they are good systems to hang on to. So I kind of made the mistake of, drifting into the wormhole. So don't do that. Otherwise they might go around and destroy all your ships, but It's not a big deal. So they do spawn in a fair amount of stuff. So just be prepared. Like, it's not necessarily an easy fight. It is for us because we have so much shields and everything, but if you have a weaker ship, this might be difficult for you because these guys all have, you know, 1,000. Well, maybe they don't all have 1,000, but some of them have over 1,000 Omicron worth of damage potential, and that can be difficult to deal with sometimes if you don't have, you know, sufficient shields and everything. You also want to make sure you have sufficient hull just in case they have shield-piercing energy weapons, just in case you don't have impenetrable shields on one of your systems, which I don't. I do have a shield booster, but I don't have impenetrable shields as a result. So we'll destroy that, destroy this. So they did destroy one of them. Hopefully it dropped the artifact. It was number 4. And what might happen, I mean, all these ships have reconstruction tokens, so I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I've reconstructed a ship, but it might actually allow me to reconstruct the ship and get the system that way. If so, that'd be great. I mean, I'm sad that they're destroying my artifact ships. Like, they should be taking out, you know, the ship with all the firepower, right? At least that's what you would think, but apparently the AI is just stupid. So we're just going to take out the rest of these assholes, and yeah, hopefully we can finish this up. So he's basically going around, well, he finally targeted us. He was just going around destroying all of our shit, but that's fine. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like, these guys do have a fair amount of shields and holes on some of them, so like the bigger destroyer ships are not always the easiest to take out. You know, even with, I think we're like 18,000 Omicron on this ship, so that's a fair amount of damage pre-barrier, all things considered, but even so, it's taking us a while to take these guys out. But not a big deal, like I said, and like you saw, you don't have to actually do the fight if you're not concerned about losing the ships holding your artifacts. If you are concerned about that, you want to just take all these guys out, then you can go through the wormhole. It doesn't look like it matters that some of the artifact ships were destroyed. The wormhole is still open for us, so I'm gonna assume that once it opens, like, it stays open forever, which is cool. That means you can just destroy the ships and it doesn't actually matter. But yeah, that way you can use your Zotan artifacts on what you actually want. So like some of them, like the one you get from the AI, for example, takes away the requirement for miners, gunners, and pilots. So like if you're outfitting a mining carrier, for example, that could be really good to lower your crew costs. But that is the battle done. I'm just going to go through and kind of gather up some of this stuff. Or, well, I guess we're going back through the wormhole, because we went too close. But that is us overcoming the barrier, guys. So I took a look at the game clock. It looks like we're at about 56 hours of gameplay so far. So it took us about 56 hours to get over the barrier. Not too bad, all things considered. But yeah, just that's how long it took us. So I'm gonna go into the build mode here and see if I can steal his system, because I want these artifacts back. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go into build mode, turn off save, modify entire ship, or well, select your tool and delete. Yes, go destroy the ship, that's fine. And then we'll just switch back into sector and do that for each of them. That way it does lower your ship founding costs, which is nice. So we were up on the last couple of them, it was starting to cost us Xanian to found a ship, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just I don't really want to have to start spending Oganite and Avorion when I don't need to. Like if I get rid of 8 or 7 ships, it's going to make it easier for us, so, or cheaper for us, I should say. Anyway, we're just going to keep on doing this, and yeah, when we come back next time, we're going to be exploring inside the barrier and kind of going over what our first steps are going to be. But if you enjoyed the video today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, this has been LD7, and we will see ya.